Hi, my name is Guy Trainin, and this is AI in the Classroom. And today I'm trying something a little bit different. And I have ChatGPT from our campus. So this is an official paid-for license. And one of the advantages of that, it can connect to some of my institutional apps. So it can connect to my email, it can connect to other things and examine them, not necessarily change them. And so I wanted to follow a piece of advice that Daniel Pink actually shared on his Substack a few weeks ago, and that is, hey, if you're working a lot with AI, you can ask AI about what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, that kind of thing. So I thought, that is interesting. And here I have an advantage. It's not just my conversation with AI, but actually it's also connected to my email and to my calendar, so it can come to some conclusions. So I did use a short prompt to look at my calendar and documents and provide an assessment of productivity in the last month and give me some advice about what I could be doing better. And I get a really interesting result. So what I love about this result is it actually has links to the sources. So it tells me, how does it know that I'm doing these things? Well, it looks at my email and say, here's the things you are doing. And it talks about the patterns that it's noticing. And then it has some interpretations. And I was taken aback by the interpretations. Now, Daniel Pink said that the same thing happened to him. So who am I next to Daniel Pink? Hey. It always is a little more observant. But one of the things that I noticed it was doing is it was really focusing on my focus on administrative tasks. And it was saying, you are doing a lot of administrative tasks, a lot of work around just management, and that's what we're seeing. And maybe you should rethink that and make sure you're doing a lot more writing. And I thought about this. And in the beginning, I said, well, yeah, it does feel like that sometimes, and that's fine. But then it occurred to me that we have to take this not with a grain of salt, but understanding what sources it relies on. It relies on my email. A lot is happening in my email. And it relies on my calendar. And so it sees mostly the meetings I'm invited to and the work sessions that I have. But those are not labeled as work. They have a title, so it's hard for AI to distinguish between them. And then all the questions that I have to AI. But here's the thing. I use AI not so much for my academic work, although I do some of that. I use it mostly for administrative work. So obviously, AI would know about my administrative life because it helps me with all of those silly documents that I have to submit here and there. It's helping me with complex emails. It's helping me with all of these things. It's not helping me as much in designing research because that I don't need AI for. I actually am trained. This is what I'm good at. So in a way, when you're asking these kind of questions of AI, you have to also think about what is it basing its opinion on before you take that to heart. But it is, on the other hand, a really important reflective moment. So I highly advise, if you have an AI that is connected to your email or that you have used robustly over the last year or so, it's got a lot of information and it can tell you a lot about your patterns, whether they're positive or not, and make even a few suggestions. There are a few suggestions here that I'm going to take. And I'll see you next time on AI in the Classroom.